Hi, this is just a preamble to today's video, which is aimed at welcoming new subscribers to the channel, but it is intended for everyone. I talk about where I'm located in more detail than I have done previously. I also discuss the next Forgo Narrowboating live stream and announce who is going to be joining us. And I talk about further videos, those that I'm planning at the moment. So please do all watch and enjoy. Thanks for listening. Hi, and thanks for joining me. I hope you're all keeping safe and well. The purpose of today's video is to welcome new subscribers and to say a little bit about where I'm located. That's not a topic I've actually discussed before. So I'll start by saying I'm Alan from my narrowboat venture. I retired 3 years ago and bought a narrowboat. I renamed it Lazy Daze, and I'm moored at Yelvertoft Marina on the Leicester section of the Grand Union Canal. And I'll explain more about that in a moment. Firstly, I'd like to welcome many new subscribers who've joined in recent weeks and months. I do like to say hello to everyone and welcome you aboard, so that's what I'm doing today. What I should say is at the time I bought my boat, I had never had any narrowboating experience. What I did beforehand, having planned this for many years, but what I did beforehand was to hire a boat for a weekend and see if I liked it. Well, I did. That's history. And I did make a film of my experiences, and I'll put a link below in case anyone would like to watch that. In fact, I have now quite a back catalogue of videos that you can watch. The thought processes I used when I was looking for a boat, my initial experiences on that weekend when I hired the boat. There's a whole host of videos, many of which are set out in playlists to make it easier for you to view. So for new viewers in particular, there's a lot that you can browse through, and hopefully you'll find something to watch that you'll enjoy. The channel covers many different aspects of boating. I deal with cruising, I show DIY. Particularly, I've done a lot of painting on the boat, engine maintenance, all sorts of odd jobs that I've done either outside or within the cabin. I also veer slightly away from narrowboating, and that now and again I will do something allied to water. Very often there is some form of connection. It might be a water pumping station, which could be pumping water for any manner of purposes, a tunnel under the water, all sorts of things. Recently I published a video on the Newport Transporter Bridge, which crosses the River Usk in South Wales. So I like to give a varied selection, and also within each video there can be a variety. I know that many overseas viewers like to see some road trips. So periodically I include some short trips going through the villages and so forth and the countryside. That seems to be very popular. So it is a bit of a mixed channel. It's not all about boating, but boating is the main theme. So I'd like to say a big hello and welcome to all of you, no matter where you are. I know many of you are based overseas, many of you are UK based. I always say please do comment. Comments are always very welcome. I much appreciate your support and encouragement, And please do say hello, particularly if you are a new subscriber. It does mean a lot to me. I get some really, really lovely messages. I wish I could read some out, but I'm not sure that it would be appropriate. But thank you so much to all of you that do comment, because I am blown away by some of the comments that you make. It really does make my day, as Clint would say. So what I wanted to do was explain exactly where I'm located in the country. Now I say exactly, I'm going to be using some maps which give you a rough idea of where I am. At this point I should say that I am trying to learn how to use Google Maps and Google Earth, and I want to give a big thank you to Steve from Life Aboard Amy Jo. He produced a lovely short video explaining how to go about things. He did that for me and another boater, and I have been following the instructions. I haven't quite mastered it yet, so my presentation of maps and so forth is not the best, but I will do all I can to tell you where I'm located. And the other person to mention straight away is Ian of Narrowboat Tales. He is my IT support. I have a lot of issues now and again. Things do not go right for me, and Ian has been a great arm to lean on, so many thanks for that. And whilst I'm talking about Ian and Steve, I should also mention Gary, Captain Gary Phillips, or Gary Captain Phillips, he styles himself. The three of them and myself together make 4Go Narrowboating, and I'll say more about that a little bit later. We have been doing a live stream each month. We started in November, we had one at Christmas, and we've already done one in January, and I'll say more about who our guests will be in February. I'll do that at the end, so stay tuned. So where is Yelvertoft Marina actually sited? Well, it's on the summit of the Leicester section of the Grand Union Canal, and it provides 20 miles of lock-free cruising between Watford Locks in the south and Foxton Locks to the north. I'm using south and north terms very loosely. And also the mileages that I quote are sort of rounded mileages. So how do you get on to the Leicester section of the Grand Union Canal? Well, you join it at Norton Junction, where you come off the main line. And from the junction you have about 4 miles cruising up to Watford Locks. On this map I'm showing the position of Yelvertoft Marina relative to London, just so you can get an idea of your bearings as to where I am in the country. And now I'm relating my position to the Canal network. Many thanks to the Inland Waterways Association for the use of their map. On here you can see where the marina is relative to both Watford and Foxton Locks. Watford Locks comprises 7 locks in total. As you rise the flight, there are 2 separate locks to start with. Then there is an interconnecting flight known as a staircase flight of 4 locks. Then you cross a short pound and you go into top lock, which is lock number 7. When you emerge from lock 7, if you're heading to Foxton, you have no more locks for 20 miles. I do rather enjoy the occasional lock. I think it adds interest to the journey and it breaks the journey. As a sole boater, sometimes it's good to have an enforced stop. It makes you perhaps make that cup of tea and have that bite to eat that you've been looking forward to. But I'm not here to talk about the locks and the pros and cons of them. I'm just trying to explain a little bit about where I am. So Yelvertoft Marina is actually about 4 miles north of Watford Locks. So it's 16 miles south of Foxton Locks. If I leave the marina heading south to Watford Locks, I have to pass through Crick Tunnel. And tunnels are an adventure in themselves. I know not everyone likes them, but one of the good things about being in a tunnel is that you're sheltered from the weather, be it hot or cold, wet or dry. Passing other boats can be interesting. You do have to slow down and take great care. Now, if I was to leave the marina and head northwards, there are 16 miles of lock-free cruising. What I haven't mentioned is Welford Junction, where you branch off on the Welford arm and you will come upon a single lock. I'm just talking at the moment about the summit of the Leicester section. It can take about 6.5 hours to get from Yelvertoft to Foxton, but when I do it, I've tended to make it a 2-day trip. At Foxton Locks, there are 10 locks arranged in 2 interconnecting flights, each having 5 locks. And because you're on the summit of Foxton, you head downwards. So when you arrive at Foxton Locks, in the same way as at Watford, which I didn't actually mention earlier, you have to book in with the volunteer lock keepers and be given a slot to go down or up if you're coming the other way. If you're lucky, you'll be straight in. But if it's busy, you could have hours to wait. So you never know really until you get there. Obviously it's going to be busier in the summer months than it is in the winter months. So depending on how and when you arrive, what sort of time you arrive, you can't tell how long it's going to take. The actual flight through both Watford and Foxton Locks, once you have started, is about 45 minutes. So it doesn't actually take too long. If you think about 45 minutes for 10 locks, that's only 4.5 minutes a lock, which is very good going. Generally, we think in terms of 15 to 20 minutes per lock. Sometimes you have to fill a lock, sometimes the lock is ready for you to go in, or sometimes you have to empty a lock. But I'm not really wanting to talk about locks today. I'm just trying to explain where I'm sighted and what the benefits are. And I think it is a benefit for many people not to have to travel through locks. And there is some lovely countryside between here and Watford and between here and Foxton. So if you're not wanting to go far or just want to pop out for a few days, it's a great place to be. Absolutely wonderful. And the marina itself is idyllic. It's wonderful when the sun shines. And it's even wonderful in the snow, as was seen recently. So I hope that gives you an idea of whereabouts I am in the country and whereabouts I am on the Canal network. Whilst I've been talking, the sun has been moving around and it looks as though I'm in darkness now, so I wonder if I might move somewhere else. Well, I've wrapped up a bit and come outside, so I hope you can see me better now. I've sort of lost my train of thought as well, so just need to think about where I was. I had been talking about the position of the marina in relation to Watford and Foxton Locks. So I feel not only is it an idyllic spot to be in, but it's also wonderful from the cruising point of view if you just want to nip out for a short trip. Well, I've said what I wanted to say, which was a big hello and welcome to new subscribers And I mustn't forget my existing subscribers, many of whom have been with me from the outset, and it is so greatly appreciated. I've always said that your comments, support and encouragement mean a great deal to me, and I mean that most sincerely. So keep them coming, please do, please do. Well, I've got the sun in my face, which is very pleasant, I have to say. The last week has been a bit up and down. We had the snow last weekend, the marina was frozen, couldn't get a water supply for a couple of days. Not that it bothered me, I had plenty on board. One thing I do want to mention with lockdown is that we're not able to go cruising, so I'm not in a position to bring you any new cruising videos, and with the way things are, I'm not doing much on the boat work-wise. I am though researching some of my historical films to re-edit them and bring you some other videos which are a little bit different. I'm working on a couple at the moment which again are water related. Both involve pumping and both are very different from each other, and the eldest film is about 13 years so I'm sort of reformatting that. It was filmed in the 4:3 style, the old television format, and I'm putting it into the 16:9 modern widescreen type of format, and I'm adding some narrative to it, and that is Canal based, so look out for that one. So I'm doing a lot in the background, trying to keep you entertained. Many of you do ask me to keep the videos coming, and I think at the moment it's easier to trawl back through film that I've got. I've got a lot of film which is totally unedited, which I can edit from scratch, and I've also got films that I have made in the past that need re-editing. So bear with me. The next film I publish is going to be a cruising video filmed going through Hillmorton Locks, which I filmed the year before last. It is a video I prepared a long while back. It's just something taken on a beautiful summer's day. I have speeded it up slightly. That won't spoil enjoyment. It's not Charlie Chaplin speed, but going through locks can take a little while, and it's just a beautiful film, and I'm going to publish that next. I've made that decision, so midweek that will be available to you. I did say I would mention Forgo narrowboating. Our next live stream is on the 23rd of February, and I'm delighted to say our special guests are Mark and Julie Weir of Weir on the Move. Now they're slightly different in that they don't have a narrowboat, they have a wide beam. So anything wider than a narrowboat, which is 6'10", is classed as a wide beam. I'm not sure offhand how wide theirs is, but that's a question you can keep and ask them. So that is on the 23rd of February at 7 PM Greenwich Mean Time. So as always, all that remains for me to say is many thanks for watching. Look after yourselves, keep your friends and families safe, take the utmost care. Until next time, in fact before I say until next time, I should remind you all to subscribe if you haven't yet done so, and on doing that please click the bell to receive notifications of future videos. Until next time, take care, bye for now.